Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. So my peers and subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, we're going to be kind of doing like a mystery reading. I don't know exactly what we're going to be doing today, but for a lot of you guys, you're going to know because you're going to see it on the topic of this video. So you'll know before I do. But what to call it? So I want to say thank you to all you guys who have been engaging with the content. You've been supporting me throughout this entire process and journey. I want to extend my gratitude and appreciation to all of you guys. I am going to comment back, and I've been taking a little bit of a break from the comment section, but I will be coming back to read a lot of your comments. So for those of you guys who have left comment, thank you. I appreciate you and I love you. Anyway, we are going to jump forward into this reading. I don't know exactly what we're going to be doing, but I did ask for protections for all of us and guidance and love and support throughout this entire channel. So anyway, let's begin. This video is being recorded on January the 17th, Friday at 11:59 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So right before the cut of noon, that is when we are going to do this video. Yeah, this video is just for entertainment purposes only and for educational purposes only. The more you watch this video, the longer in terms of duration, you tell the algorithm, hey, I like this video, and you'll be shown more, not only my video, but also other psychic tarot card readers and astrologers. If you also want to engage with the content and other formalities like liking, subscribing, hitting the bell icon, and even commenting in the description below or in the comment section, is a great way for you to engage with the content. Now, if you're not being notified by YouTube or you haven't really been notified by YouTube by other readers, don't worry. I do have a Facebook group and a Blue Sky account, which you can follow in the description below, and you personally will be notified when I do upload and post next. All right, so until then, let's begin. We're just going to go jump in. Don't know exactly what I'm walking into here, but there's a lot to cover, a lot of ground, I'm sure. A lot of you guys are probably wondering about what's going on with Trump, and although if it happens in the reading, so be it. Okay, so how do we start, Spirit? Okay, so tell me to use the regular Rider-Waite tarot. That's what we're going to do. We'll just jump right into it and see where stories unfold. Okay. Alright, so spirits and angels, tell me what messages do we need to hear for today right now, this very moment? Because apparently it appears to me that you guys have a lot to say. So what's going on? Okay, so the tarot card comes in at the center of the reading. It's reversed. These are not good cards. Okay, so it's talking about Inauguration Day. And here we have the Queen of Cups. There's limitation, something going to be capped. I'm hearing something with the Supreme Court here. So something is being played in the Supreme Court. We have here the first card that comes up, a major card. It's a Tower card, but it comes in as reverse. And the reverse card, the reason for that is significant, is that it was originally upright. It flipped over as it landed on the table and became reversed. This is talking about it's a minor tower moment. It's a minor shift in the dynamics of what's at play here in this very moment. Now on the channel, we don't tell you what you want to hear. We tell you what you need to hear. Whether it benefits the channel or hurts the channel, that's up to you and at your leisure. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what you want to hear. So if you want to be told, then go to other readers. But if you want to be told what you need to hear, then you can stay here and watch. So that's what we do here on the channel. So anyway, and we explore other possibilities in all plausibilities, all different timelines and frequencies and energies. That's also what we do here as well. So we explore every different topic, regardless, because I'm always had that sense of curiosity. We can't just be determined on reading on one specific timeline or one specific way. We have to be open to all different possibilities. And when you open up your possibility, you're able to see the bigger picture. Anyway, going back to the reading. The reason why that is significant here is because the reverse tower card is indicating a small minor moment, a little bit of a shift in dynamic in the way in which our timeline was originally supposed to play out. There was a specific timeline that we were entering into, but then somebody took the lever and we went into a different path. We went to a different timeline. Now, on this left side here, we have the Democrats here, we have the Republicans on this side. You can definitely see the Republicans definitely have the better cards on this aspect, where the Democrats definitely have the bad aspects. So here we have on the left side here, we have the Queen of Swords. And this is the card that resembles Nancy Pelosi, Vice President Harris. When this card is upright, that means the person is in a position of power. Right? They are in a position of power and that they are currently in the incumbent seat. When it is reversed, it means that the person has either been defeated, has been removed, impeached, or just is not in power in the moment in which the reign has taken place. This is upright, which means this is indicating somebody who's in power, which is based on my assumptions from the past reading, this would be Vice President Harris. Now, Vice President Harris, if this just say it was her, hypothetically speaking, she above her, despite the election, once this is the little shift, the shift in our timeline here, we had trouble. So this is the Six of Swords reversed, which means that we didn't enter into a period of calmness. We always were about to head there, but the problem is the United States had a path forward. It had to learn the lesson that it needs to learn, and apparently it did not learn that under the Biden administration. And so we need to have a repeat of the Donald Trump administration in order to learn the lessons at play, right? There is time that needs to be happening. There's a reason why Trump won and why we're going through it. There's nothing happening. And we're going to explore it in the second part of that video. I think that we're going to explore why Trump won, really, and why is nothing stopping it. I think that is also the key note here. Now, underneath the Queen of Swords here, we have the Page of Swords. And the Page of Swords is telling me about somebody who is fighting, even when the wind is against them. This is reverse, which tells me that this person has, I think, in some capacity, has conceded. This is somebody who kind of allowed to wind to go in a direction, but this is somebody who allowed to wind to flow them in one way or the other. If the wind blows them in one direction, they go with it. They're like a sail. But if the wind blows in the other way, they go the opposite way. That's how she comes off. Like that's her energy. That is her position in politics and in government. So she blowed with the way the country goes, right? Here underneath the United States, though, which is the United States, we have a minor card here, which is the Tower card. This is a shift in dynamic, a shift in timeline. This is the election. Under here, we have revelation. Revelation that we did not learn the lessons that we needed to learn. And because we didn't choose to learn them, we have to redo. Like, what happened when you keep seeing the number 666? Everybody's like, oh my gosh, 666 is such a bad number. 666 is actually a good number. And 666 in the Bible indicates the Antichrist and all those dark demonic forces. But 666 in essence just means a repeat of a lesson that you did not learn. Right? So some people might say Donald Trump is the Antichrist. No, he's not the Antichrist. He's just the mere representation of the number 666 because when we don't learn a lesson, he's the repeat. So he is repeating what we did not learn, which is 666. We did not learn the lessons of the Biden administration and we did not heal that aspect of us. And because we did not heal that aspect of us, we need to have a harsher punishment to really go within and deepen and understand our perspective from a different angle. For some of us, we never really took the opportunity to take a look at ourselves and say, that's not good. I got to change that. None of us did that, really. I did that in some capacity, but I am myself guilty of that. All of us are guilty of it. We don't really take the time to really self-reflect, and I think that having Donald Trump in office really self-reflect on us and who we are as Americans and what it really means to be an American. Now, underneath here, we also have the loss card, right? The loss. We took a lot of things for granted. We really did. We took a lot of things for granted, thinking that they were going to go a certain way, and that we believed that the masses were going to be good. The circumstances at play, regardless whether they were manipulated or not, it still tells the same story. And the same story is that we took things for granted for when we shouldn't have. We should have saw them at face value. We should have not kept our eyes closed. That's also part of the problem. Part of the problem is that we kept our eyes closed saying, oh, this can't be possible, this can't be possible. And because you've been so neglected of the ability to see other outcomes, a different perspective, we end up in a scenario where there was loss. And here's the thing, because even though when you see all this, you still have two cups upright, but yet you're looking at the Three of Cups down. There's still possibility, good things coming our way, and I said this before, there's plenty of good things coming, and you can definitely see this in my Psychic Channeling book. Let me read it to you. I feel like some of you guys have lost the message, or you have lost hope or faith, and let me just tell you what it says about the media. Okay, this was recorded on January the 9th, 2025. It says, many good will come of this decade, but be overshadowed by the evil that consumes the media. You can see it here. It says it right there. So, with that being said, the media is going to dictate how you perceive the world. You just cannot be in consumption of the evil that consumes the media. The media is the personification of the media, the evil. It's going to amplify that. And it's going to seem like the world that we live in is dark, when the world in retrospect is not as dark as it appears. It's a lot of light. You just got to choose what you want to see and what you need to see. You got to be open to all. Don't be closed-minded into seeing, oh my God, the darkness, the darkness, the darkness. There's light even in darkness, right? Be the hermit in those surrounded by death, right? Be the hermit. That is a little pun. Now going to the right side here, we have the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles card is a very good card, especially for the Republicans in this aspect, because this is a mystery reading. I did not know what we were going to walk into, and this is what it walked into. So we have here, we have the Troubles reversed, and we have the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles on the right side means handing over power, transition, the power going to one side to the other. That is why her card here is representing trouble, where Trump card represents, or the Republicans in this aspect, represent the transition of power being handed over from one side to the other. And this is the election day, which is the mitigator. Now we have the Queen of Swords, which is the Harris card, right? She is in a position of power at this moment. She's the first woman vice president of the United States. We have here Revelation, the Moon card, something revealed, revelation. The revelation regards into the election. Now, on the right side here, we have the Six of Pentacles, and the Six of Pentacles is greed. Follow the money so that you shall understand why they won. Because justice was never the reason why anything wins nowadays. Justice never wins, only money does. When money overshadows justice, money wins. That's the moral of the story is you gotta follow the money. The money was Elon Musk. But Elon Musk was the reason why she lost. For so many readers, why we missed the mark was because we put Harris against Trump. Or we never put Harris against Elon Musk. And that's why we failed. And I'm going to do a second part of this video. I'm going to actually put it in this video. And I'm going to pin Harris against Elon and see if maybe we can kind of determine, okay, maybe when you put Harris against Trump, Trump loses. When you put Harris against Elon, Harris loses. And that's the dynamic that we're going to put there and see maybe if that's what we're seeing right now. Is that what we missed? Because again, it would make a lot of sense why a lot of psychics have missed the ball here, because that never happened in the United States in modern day. It happened back in the 1800s, well before the tarot card came into play. Now, going back to what we see in the bottom part here, because we have here walking away and just kind of flowing with the way the wind blows here. If the wind blows her towards the presidency, she will go in that direction. She's kind of like that flexible feather that just kind of blows with the wind. Right? That's kind of like how she blows. We have loss here. Looking at the negative, but not realizing that there are still two cups remaining. There's still opportunities here, which is why it falls under this card, revelation about the election. There's still opportunities here. So yeah, there could be something that could be revealed regarding the revelation of the election if it chooses to come out, right? That is why there is revelation here. The problem is, this did it in a moment of sorrow. So a lot of you guys are asking, well, why are the Democrats not doing anything? Because they're sitting here. They're looking at the negative. They're not looking at the opportunity to understand why it became a negative, right? That is up for them to really decide whether or not they're going to choose to turn around and look at what's standing, or choose to say sorrow at why they lost, right? Under here, we have the Page of Cups. This is the J.D. Vance card. So no, I don't think J.D. Vance is going to be inaugurated. I don't. At one point I got it, but the time had shifted and the energy kind of seemed to be stabilizing right about now. So I'm gonna say that JD Vance is not gonna be the one getting inaugurated. It looks like it's gonna be Donald Trump at this point in time. Now what's really interesting is that the Queen of Cups, even though this is my Democrat card here, and it's upright, this is talking about the Supreme Court. So in some way the Supreme Court puts a limitation on the presidency possibly. But the Supreme Court is the center focus here. It is the bottom of the card here, which is the Queen of Cups. So something going on with the Supreme Court in terms of capping. What is being capped? Okay, so the people. So in some way, there's going to be some sort of caption or some sort of restriction of the people in some way. I think this might be TikTok, because TikTok is the free flow of information and freedom to create information. There's a restriction there by the court. So I wonder if this is TikTok. It could be, it could not be, but there is a restriction on the people imposed by the Supreme Court. And yes, the Supreme Court has let go ahead today that TikTok is going to go forward with the ban. But there is a restriction of the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court would be, its main role under this administration is to cap the rights of certain individuals or certain demographic and groups. We do have here a new leader on the horizon. So there is a new leader on the horizon. So, and here it is, the Sun card. The Sun card, the new leader, will essentially not be the one currently in position of power because they are a leader in some capacity. So it just has to be somebody other than Harris and Biden. And here we have many changes, many opportunities, many things coming. And here the transformation, the death card. The transformation is coming. So the United States is going to undergo major changes regarding the King of Wands here, which is the conservative card, and here is 45. So many changes regarding Trump in being in position of power, regardless of the High Priestess, which is represented here as the Constitution. A lot of things will be disregarded, and new changes will come in the future because of those disregards. And the King of Cups will basically mean essentially that this card represents Biden, but in this aspect, it represents authoritarianism. A leader stabilizes his position in power while chaos reigns around him. I think that is a more of a symbolic message of how Donald Trump's presidency is intended to go and how he plans to use the presidency. This is the presidency card. So he plans to intend to use it in a very authoritarian factor, and he will visit his investors. He's going to allow his investors to really take control of the country. Now, the thing is, a lot of people forget, they're like, oh my God, he's going to run it like a business. He's going to help us. Are you really that stupid? Like, I mean, really, anybody who knows how a businessman runs a business, he always makes cuts to necessary things to make sure that he can increase the profit. Right, at the expense of the consumer. The American people think that they are themselves the investor in this aspect. That's funny. Now, you are the consumer. So therefore, you will suffer at the expense of the investor. The investors are a billion-dollar class in the oligarchy, and they themselves will benefit from your displeasure, from your inability to afford basic necessities at the expense that you thought that having a businessman in a position of power is going to bring you money, when in retrospect he is going to be there to steal your money. How many businessmen and businesswomen have you seen that steal tips from their own workers? How many people have you seen they try to actively undercut their workers? How many people have you seen they try to make sure they don't have health care? All these things are businessmen and businesswomen. They never have good intention. There are very few and far between those with empathy and understanding how to run a business. It would be different if this was a businessman or a businesswoman from a small town, a mom and dad shop. Those people, you would want as president, get those people to do what's right for the consumer. But the big corporations, you have a little too much hope, is what I'm going to say. Too much hope for that. And I think that a lot of Republicans are about to learn how stupid they really are. Now, and I myself can say that because, well, I have a Republican family. So anyway, besides the point, let's go ahead and forward and take a look and see. We're going to pin Harris against Trump and see what the cards come about. And we're going to put Harris against Elon and just understand on a better dynamic level who won and why they lost, and kind of see what's at play and why we got it wrong. So Spirits and Angels tell me put Harris against Trump in a head-to-head matchup in the 2024 election. Who will be likely to become president? Okay, that's interesting. So we have Trump here, we have Harris here. This is the Biden administration card. It's reversed. We have the Republicans here. So in that aspect, we said Trump. Okay. In the head-to-head matchup between Harris and, in the head-to-head matchup between Harris and Elon Musk. Okay. Who's likely to win? It would be Elon Musk. So Trump can beat Harris, and so can Elon. But Trump, in aspects here, needs Elon. Because Elon has all the cups here. Trump needs the cups. So therefore, the cups are on the same side as Trump's here, which means that in order for Trump to win, essentially, he needs the cup that Elon can offer. Therefore, when you pin two together, it creates a dynamic duo in which Harris cannot defeat Trump and Elon together. So yeah, no. We have the Ace of Wands here, which is the leadership card. And we have the Empress reverse and the King of Cups reverse, which are both Harris cards in this aspect. And they are both reversed, which means they are removed or delete, they are removed in some capacity. However, we do have the Magician card, manifestation, manifest, the ability to lead and wield power and influence. So either in some way, Harris is able to influence certain outcomes or certain things when she was running. There was something about Harris that was very dynamic, very different than what we have ever experienced before. Again, it could just simply be because she embodied what it means to be a female Madam President. So she has the aura, the energy, the frequency that matches the decade in which she was running. But maybe she ran in the wrong year. Now underneath here, the Emperor's card, which is reversed, we have is followed by the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups is opportunity, looking at the fish. She's looking at that fish. So even if she lost, well, she's not looking at Elon Musk. She's not looking at Donald Trump. She's looking away from them. She's looking at the fish. Why is this significant? Why is that significant? Because while there's no fish in Elon Musk's cards, and there's nothing in Trump's cards. Even though Trump has the cups are empty. You can kind of look at it. There's nothing in the cups, right? But look at Elon Musk. He has all the things that are filled in every single cup. But Trump had nothing in the cup, which means he used up all his luck. Elon Musk gave those cups to Trump, which means Trump used up his luck. Which means, God forbid, something were to happen, and Trump was to be removed or forced out in some capacity, his luck has ran out. Harris, on the other hand, had a full cup. She has an opportunity. If she chooses to use it wisely, she could become president. The thing is that she's looking at that. She's looking at the cup. She's not paying attention to Trump and Elon. So a lot of you guys are asking, well, why is Harris not doing anything? Well, Harris is not doing anything because she's not focused on them. She can't look at them because she's looking at something else. We don't know exactly what she's looking at. Let's take a look and see what she's looking at. I wish I had a fish deck here, but I guess I don't. What is Harris looking at in the Page of Cups? What did she gain from Elon Musk and Trump when she ran against them? What did she gain? What did she get in her cup? What was filled in the cup that she's looking at? We have here loss. So it feels like to me, even though she's looking at that loss, she's seen as nothing but unburdensome. Like she feels unburdened by it. So she feels relief. She feels unburdened by what she went through. She felt happy. She loved what she did, but she felt relief. Trump and Elon Musk gave Harris relief, a chance to breathe. And at the same point in time, even though when she got that chance to breathe, that breath of fresh air that we all talked about is what allowed her to transition from a worm into a butterfly. What does that mean? Well, that means that Harris was not ripe for the presidency just yet. She needs to be molded into the Madam President. Here we have the Queen of Cups. She gets molded into the Queen of Cups. So she is on her way to becoming queen of a distant land. But she's being molded. There's time away from the White House. Allows her to have internal retrospection. Remember, we're all going to go through that. We're all going to have to look from within and really take a deep reflection of who we are and what we represent as Americans. She herself is not immune to this. She will be looking at herself and will go through internal retrospection. She's not doing that right now because she is certainly empowered. But certainly when she's gone, she is going to be able to have the opportunity to really take a deep dive and understand who is Vice President Harris and who am I going to be in the future. She's going to go through that transformation. You're going to see it's going to become a very beautiful process, a very beautiful, what do you call it? Coordination in some way. It feels like to me like she is becoming herself. Like, you know how sometimes you have to go through certain things in order to become the person you're meant to be? She's kind of like that. She's going through those processes. And I said it before many times, but she has to go through certain things in order to really mold herself into who she is. Going back to my reading in my book again, it says this in the book. This is not stuff that I made up. This is the stuff that I heard in my right ear because I'm clairaudient. And I just write them down and I just write messages that I get. So, it says here, because she is a leader, regardless whether she's a leader or not. It says here, Will's leader will be submission to all that can and will be. Regardless if she wants to be president or not, she will be forced to do it if that is her destiny and soul path and guidance. Kings will fall, not one, but by the many. So many leaders will fall. Okay? Let's take a look at Harris here. Harris shall seek a new path towards the presidency, for that she shall become. Okay, this is, again, December 31st, 2024. Now, let's go and take a look fast forward to January 9th. And it says here, Harris will go on to win the 2028 election if she so chooses to seek it. For that, the presidency is already hers. So this is January 9th, 2025. You can definitely see it here. It's written right there. And then let's fast forward into the next second channel, which I think might also include her, but I don't really know 100%. Harris. We have a lot of California, so I have to really talk about California. Yeah, no, nothing around California, but this is Elon Musk. Elon Musk is one of those people with Asperger's who, in a few, was not reborn of a higher plane, but rather a reincarnation of an evil green society on a different planet he calls home. Planet 23746. I don't know, I don't even know what that is, but just the number they gave me. 23746, 2.6 million light years away, we believe. It collects from the planet Garcia. So apparently, that is where he's from. If you want to understand why, even though Elon Musk has Asperger's and most people with disabilities and Asperger's and autism, all those things, Down syndrome, you name it, they are normally of the higher vibrational plane, and that's why when they come down, they can't really communicate as effectively, because if they weren't able to communicate effectively, they will be the dominating force on the planet because they will be of high consciousness. So there is some sort of limitation and harmonious things that need to happen in order to kind of level the playing field, because this earth is of all learning and experience, right? You can't have everything handed to you and expect you to not learn. You have to learn. So therefore, that makes sense. Elon Musk is entirely different because he does not come from a natural higher vibrational plane. He comes from a darker plane of a lower vibrational frequencies, but of higher consciousness. And by doing that, he essentially acquired Asperger when he reincarnated here as a human. So, there's that. Alright, so, is there anything else that we need to cover in this video? Okay, so yes, they told me I need to cover why Trump won and what is his purpose for why he won. Spiritual angels tell me, why is nothing stopping Trump from becoming the next president of the United States? Why is nothing stopping Donald Trump from becoming the next president of the United States? Alright, so I got a whole bunch of information as I was putting this card down. This card here means hidden. Something is hidden, revolving around the the reason why things don't happen to Donald Trump. It's regard to justice. The justice during the Biden administration, led by Merrick Garland, was the sole reason why Donald Trump got away. At least that's what it appears on the surface. The justice card is following in the center. The DOJ is the reason why Trump never really got prosecuted or nothing really went ahead because of Merrick Garland. Biden should have fired him a long time ago. That's my personal opinion. But using the cards here and keeping my opinion guided, it does say here that there was a lack of strength within the justice system. Something was hidden. So there was information that they hid because they feared something by the Justice Department and they hid it from the people. And that's why the justice was weak. So why was Trump allowed to be able to go in? Well, he was allowed to go in because, well, the Justice Department was weak. It was weak. We have here the Lovers card here, which is the Biden-Harris administration. So this occurs under the Biden-Harris administration, which is true. It did occur under that. We do also have the World here. The World did not do enough to stop him. The world did not do enough. They're just talking about world's leaders and everything like that. The world, in terms of leadership, it tells me here that a lot of the leaders in position of power were afraid of Donald Trump and what he represented. So he must have threatened them to the point where they were unable to speak as well. It says here that they themselves should have spoke about their experiences with Donald Trump to kind of dissuade the people to say, oh, that's not the type of leadership I would want. Instead, Donald Trump spoke with certain people to create certain dynamics and play puppeteering with the future, like, Gaza and Palestine. That's a temporary ceasefire. But, what is that saying? It's saying here that a lot of leaders in position of power should have been outwardly spoken, and enough so that they're saying, hey, listen, American people are like, oh, I don't really want this guy in office. Instead, they weren't. They kind of stayed on the back burner because they were afraid to be seen as foreign interference. They were afraid to really talk about their experience. But if you're talking about your experience, it shouldn't be classified as interference because it's not. You're just talking about your experience with Donald Trump when he was president and what he did to hurt or help the country. Right? That's something that it should have been more talked about. His leaders should have been more vocal about Donald Trump and the dangers that he poses, not only to the people within the United States, but also the people of their own country. And because of that, that allowed for every nation to really move to the right instead of the left. They move to the right. So there's that. Underneath the moon card here, we have justice. Undercover corruption within the justice system. So why was Trump allowed to be able to hold power in the United States going forward? It has to do with the corruption. That's why it's hidden. There's hidden information within the Supreme Court. There's hidden information within the Justice Department. Favoritism towards one person or the other. Favoritism towards money over those of doing the right thing, morality. So it's really talking about this was really a case of understanding how corporate greed and money corrupt all. Money corrupts. And most importantly, those in position of power are lack moral compass than those who are plentiful, who are willing and able to set aside their moral in order to intake money. So that is why Trump was able to become president. He was able to lead because he was able to corrupt the system in a manner that was like the worst we never seen before, which we also have seen this many times. This has been a story that's been ongoing. It's just on a political dynamic level. No one was able to pull it off the way Trump was. So what does this mean? Well, it means that there was a bigger problem at play. Trump couldn't have done this if this was not going on. This was something that's been a major fluctuation, a major thing that's been ongoing from the very beginning. Justice systems, regardless whether the DOJ or not, they have always been corrupt. But it never really been exposed to the level or frequency in which Donald Trump have abused the system. It only since now that people realize this justice system doesn't work for anybody except for the wealthy. Right? At one point in time, and I will say this now, a lot of people have been contempt with the idea and say, oh, it only works for the working privilege or the privilege, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Working for the privilege. And they were willing to step aside and say, oh, listen, the less fortunate, the non-privileged, those people Well, as long as I'm okay, I don't care. But now they start to realize that they themselves don't care about you either. And that's why people are upset, because they themselves realize that they have been kicked out of the system in which they thought they were protected from. And that's part of the problem, is because going inside from the inside perspective, people need to learn is to understand from retrospection, is that when you allow one person to be um, broken down and torn apart, you yourself will be subjected to the same thing. For example, in a better terminology sense, if you allow trans people to be abused by the government, you may not be trans, it may not affect you directly, but it will trickle down. Like the way that Reagan said it, everything will always trickle down. Didn't happen with economics, but it will happen with how they view you and with your rights. They will always trickle down. So they will always take away the easy target, which the enemy would be in this aspect, will be trans, the LGBT, and then it'll go into the Mexican, the illegal, and then it'll go into African Americans and all those, and it will keep going and going until it gets to you. And until then, there's no one else to stand up for you, because all the other people, you did not do anything when um, you didn't choose to do anything when it was someone that wasn't you. Like, for example, I'm not black, but yet I went out and protested in 2020 because I knew the ramifications that if I didn't, and if I didn't be the voice for those people, then no one will be the voice for me, and I will want to have a voice when I am being silenced. Right? This is what it's talking about here. It's talking about the silence. Don't remain contempt because it doesn't affect you directly, because it's saying here that when you are contempt and you're unable to speak, when you do have the ability to speak, the time is now to speak when you still have the chance to speak. Speak for those who cannot. Because when they lose their rights and speak, your voice is next. Don't think you're immune. That is why this is important. That's why the United States is in the position that it's in, because it's always been like this. It's only just been surfaced to the forefront. This is the very beginning. The Pluto return back in the United States birth chart represented. This is what the United States represents. It represents the silencing of others. It represented the inability to see what's in front of you, the corruption within the justice system by money over morals, but using moral compass to punish those below you, but not using your moral compass to punish those above you, and using money as a way to income and take in. World leaders didn't speak about their experience about the United States and the world's leaders in that aspect. They kind of stayed towards the behind the scene, unable to communicate with the people and say, hey, listen, this is our interaction, this is what the likely outcome was going to be, blah, blah. They didn't do that either. And because of that, this was a global phenomenon that was not just specific to the United States, because it was a culmination of multiple issues, multiple things that led to the Donald Trump that we know and have today. Donald Trump was a manifestation of what the United States has always been and has been. It's only until this very moment that many Americans realizes that this was the country that they lived in, and they lived in this false illusionment that the United States was never like this. The United States was always like this. You just couldn't see because you were blinded. But now that the veil has been lifted, Donald Trump has exposed those corruptions. He is the catfish in that murky water. When he swims, all the dirt that was laid dormant in the sediment starts to resurface back up to the water, clouding up the water. Right? What does the water represent? It's an element that is shape-shifting and transformative. Right? When you can't see through the water, you can't see the reflective. But you can still see the light that's being reflected by the sun, but you can't look deep in. Because what he's allowing you to do is he's not allowing you to take a look and see what is on the bottom of the floor. Instead, he's surfacing it up to the front, making you have no choice but to see the sediment, to see what's in front of you that you have so long not noticed. Because when everything is clear in a fish tank, for example, right, take a look in, you see all the sediment, you see the gravel, you see the fish swimming, whatnot. But you don't pay attention to what's really in the gravel. But when it's surfaced to the front, it becomes the issue, because now that's all that you see, and therefore you have to fix the problem because that's all you can see. The thing is, Donald Trump represented the veil. Now let me read to you what I wrote in this book regarding Donald Trump. Okay, so let's go and take a look and see here. Okay. Trump shall be the trumpet that blows the new whistle of the age. For that I have created him in this time to usher in a new age of darkness and of light. So Trump represents the darkness, bringing in the darkness. But also with him bringing darkness, he also brings in the light. Now, let's go fast forward to another thing regarding Trump. Trump will do something that will blow away the left, then the right. I don't know what that means, but it seems like it's going to be something that he's going to do to piss off a whole bunch of people. The trumpet can only be blown once. For that, Trump had already used it up in 2016, and this is the January 9th, 2025 reading. Okay? So, with that being said, Trump represented the personification of darkness and light. When there is dark, there is light that follows. I always said this many times to you guys on the channel that it's not unsurprising that Donald Trump came into power after Obama. For this, I always say that whenever a black man followed, a white supremacist is not too far behind. A white supremacist came right after Barack Obama became president and left office. A white supremacist took over. Then you have a white man who said, I'm going to fix this and try to see if we can ratify this, try to fix the negative of everything, of this white guy. And not all people are like this. And then the white supremacists come back in, to swing back in and destroy it once again, but because a woman was in the position of power up against him, up against the patriarchy. Remember, women have a very long battle ahead. This is against the feminine and the patriarchy system. The patriarchy system has everything going for them. They're not going to relinquish power easily. This is something that has to take hit and hit. I'm hearing like wrecking ball with Miley Cyrus, right? She takes the wrecking ball and she's hitting the wall. Eventually, when you hit it so many times, the wall crumbles, right? Same thing. Hillary made the first dent. Then Harris made the second dent. The next one comes in, it's going to hit it, and the wall is going to come crashing down. The patriarchy system is going to crash down. That's how it's going to happen, but it takes a couple of hits before it crashes, right? Now, going to the right side of this, we have the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands represents the masculine energy, the masculine. Why did Donald Trump win? Because he represented the dark masculine side, the lack of emotional aspect. Where this is in unison with the male and female, representing both the co-joined together, the yin and yang together, working in harmonious. The Trump administration is going to represent inharmonious. It's going to be the lack of things working together as they should. Right? Things don't work anymore. Like things are not grinding the way they used to. Things changes because they can't work. Because they no longer represent of the new future. We have here, even though there's strength, there is restriction here, whether it's restriction on the liberty, restriction on the people. But there is a restriction in some capacity and some formality. Whether this is on the Trump administration, whether or not he feels restricted and inability to get things passed or certain things to happen, there will be changes that will come through the Trump administration without a doubt. But he himself will be restricted in some capacity that will relinquish some of his power. Under here, we have the Knight of Wands, him leaving. So Trump, in some capacity, is moving away from this moment. He is moving away from, the question that we're asking: why did Spirit and why did everything allow Trump to win, and why was he allowed to take hold in power? Because although he represented all this, we didn't really learn the lessons at play here. We still have a lot to learn. People underestimated Trump and said there's no way he can defeat Harris. We all did. But we underscored the effect of Elon Musk and the power of the creative energy that he represented. The money influence. We underrepresented the money influence. Something that we didn't really take into fact into the 2020 election, right? But that was the start of the decade. This is going into the decade, and we've gotten closer and closer to Pluto's return. The Knight of Wands here is reversed, is telling him he'd lead the situation in some way. So in some capacity, regardless of what happens with the story as it unfolds, Trump in some capacity leaves his power. Something relinquishes his power. He leaves his power. Something is leaving eventually. And here we have the bottom of the card here. We have the Knight of Cups. So even if he is sworn in on January 20th at noon, he won't ever really have the full capacity of the presidency in some way. There is already a limitation on his capacity to do the things that he wants to do. There is a limitation that has been forethought, is really the word that I got. So for that. However, he will receive the power of the presidency, but he won't really receive the full power of the presidency, if you know what I mean. In some way, there is a restriction here on him and his ability to create, to change the dynamic that's at play. What's on the top of the card here? We have the Queen of Swords. This is the justice, the lawyer system, the impeachment clause, regarding money and the money scheme that takes place. And here we have the Emperor, which is Trump. This is the Trump card. So what is the Queen of Swords represented here? It means the lawyer aspect. This is what Harris was. She is the lawyer. She's the fighter, right? But in this aspect, it just represents the lawyer, which means that Trump is going to go through a couple impeachments. He is. And it's going to regard to money. And he's not going to try and walk away from it because it's not going to be successful. But yet again, he's going to be impeached again. And it's going to rain down eventually soon when the impeachment clause does take effect. And here we have the Eight of Pentacles reversed. It hasn't been worked on because it has not happened yet. But once he takes the presidency, there will be an impeachment that will go into effect sometime down the line. But Trump will be impeached again. I don't see him being removed, but he will be impeached. And we talked about this many times on the channel, that he will go through 2 impeachments and get removed as the second one. However, that has since then changed, since he has won the 2024 election. Instead, according to this book, which is the information I received, this was on January the 9th, 2025, right? We received here that 3 impeachments will befell the next president, for that he has already committed 2 major crimes outside the scope of being in office. He sold them out and gave documents away. So this has to be due with probably the Espionage Act. Maybe something regarding that. But I did say, and this would not be that I was uploaded because it's still in back burner. I'm going to have to review the video, see if I want to upload it. But in that video, I talked about Jack Smith's special report being kind of weak and unable to really kind of have some sort of effect that it would have. It would have had more of an effect had Merrick Garland allowed it to come out when Trump was president. It would have had a major effect on that. However, it didn't because Merrick Garland, what he does already, he screwed up everything. What it did say, though, was that there was going to be a person that needed to come in, specifically a woman, needed to come in and pick up the Jack Smith special report and run with it. And if she runs with it, there's still life and fruition to it. There's something that she can do that will possibly take Trump down with the Jack Smith special report. That is something that is still in play, and I saw that in the cards. And I think, if I'm correct, after that reading was done, which was never posted online, but in Arizona, there was a woman who is asking for special requests from Jack Smith. I think in Arizona, if I'm correct. I don't think I am. But you guys can fact check me in the comment section. But she asked for the Jack Smith special report, which means if she gets it, she's going to run with that. And we'll see what happens. But until then, we'll wait and see. Alright guys, I think this is pretty much good content, I really think. I think it really opened up my eyes to more of what I didn't see before. So I hope you guys liked the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, peace out. I love you. And engage. Thank you. Bye.